welcome back to Movie Review Mom. If this is your very first time here on my channel, yay, you found me. I'm so glad you're here. And if you've been watching me for a very long time, thank you so much. And thank you for subscribing. It actually helps my channel grow a ton just by giving my videos a thumbs up and subscribing and commenting down below. And speaking of commenting down below, one of my subscribers said that he didn't like the red theater seats that I always use. So I thought I would try something different in this video. So comment down below. Let me know what you think, if you like the red seats better or this new blue stuff. So I'm curious. I want to hear your reaction. All right, so let's get started on the movie review because I'm super excited to talk about it. The movie I'm featuring today is called The Mitchells versus the Machines. This movie is rated PG and it's an hour and 53 minutes, although the time flies by. I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell. I'll point out things I liked and didn't like. I'll offer tips for parents, even recommendations for other movies, and I'll give you my movie review mom grade at the end of the review, just to keep you watching. All right, so let's dive in. In a nutshell, this animated family adventure by Phil Lloyd and Chris Miller is completely adorable and kind of came out of nowhere for me. I never saw any marketing for it, and I hadn't heard anything about it until two of my friends from high school who recommended it to me on our Movie Review Mom Facebook group told me about it. And I'm so glad that they did. You know, I feel like I try to be up on what's coming out. I'm always trying to grab all of the press screeners. And for some reason, this one just wasn't on my radar. And in case that happened to you, that's why I'm excited to talk about this, because I want you to put this movie on your radar. I absolutely loved it. So of course, that's kind of a little spoiler for the grade that I'm going to give this movie. But the bottom line is, I think now we have a contender for Best Animation for the Academy Awards next year. It's that good. And by the way, here's the Netflix description where it's currently playing. It says it's a quirky, dysfunctional family's road trip that's upended when they find themselves in the middle of a robot apocalypse and suddenly become humanity's unlikely last hope. Well, it's so much more than just that, though. There's a lot of lessons to unpack in this movie, such as the importance of family, relationships, self-confidence, Furbies, artificial intelligence, social commentary on our dependence on cell phones, and so much more. The family-friendly flick was written and directed by both Michael Rianda and Jeff Rowe. And I'll talk about Michael Rianda here in just a minute. So obviously, there were plenty of things I really liked about the movie. Let's get started on those. It's a hilarious movie, first of all, that made me laugh out loud many times. It's just so inventive and fun, and the comedic beats fly fast and furiously. Every frame I felt was so creative and very entertaining. Abby Jacobson voices Katie, the protagonist teen/film student, and she just does a fantastic job. For some reason, people wondered if Danny McBride would do a good job as a dad, and the answer is yes. Yes, he does. In fact, I just watched an older movie that he was acting in, and it was such a crude, raunchy movie that if I had seen that first, I would have thought, oh, I don't know what I want him playing a dad. But he totally nailed it and kind of had the vibe of the dad in The Incredibles, just adorable and likable, lovable. Maya Rudolph voices the mom, Linda, and her character is super relatable and sweet. And I just, as a mom, it made me laugh out loud because I do a lot of the things that she does too. The rest of the voice talent cast is absolutely stellar and includes Academy Award winning Olivia Colman, Eric Andre, married power couple Chrissy Teigen and John Legend, Conan O'Brien, and SNL stars Fred Armisen, Jay Farrow, Beck Bennett, and Sashir Zamata. That was pretty exciting to see all of them together. Well, hear them all together. Sony Pictures Animations has clearly learned from the mistakes made in past movies like the Emoji Movie and the influence of popular movies like the Lego Movie and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse can be seen in the style of this film. The writers and directors also created Gravity Falls, which I hear is a super funny animated TV show. I haven't seen it, but now I'm interested. People have been losing their minds online because that mic drop is used in the trailer. So all of the music in this movie is fun, upbeat, and clever. This movie would have been so much fun to watch in a theater with a live audience where, everybody's laughter is so contagious and energetic. Even still, I watched it at home with my husband and we both were laughing and completely entertained. All of the characters in the movie are super realistic, meaning you probably know people like them. They're also distinctive and entertaining. The character design is really great. The background designs and set pieces are also really great. They're detailed, rich, and often hilarious. The on-screen effects add another layer of richness and humor that is just adorable and awesome. I really loved the look of the 2D cartoon animation added onto the 3D animation, much like what we saw and loved in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. They look kind of like the effects that Katie, the protagonist, would add if she were the one to actually make this movie. There are tons of references to and social commentary on pop culture that I always get a kick out of. The pacing flies at a brisk pace, except for a few moments when old home movies are being played to provide the sentimental foundation between the father and the daughter. So, if you're like feeling the movie's coming to a screeching halt, don't worry, it's going to rev right back up. Keep watching also during the rolling credits at the end of the movie, so you get to see the film's creators with pictures of their own families. And I thought that was a nice touch. So with all of that praise, there still were a few things that I didn't like or just thought could have been done better. For example, I can understand why writer/director Michael Rianda would want to be in the movie, but his voice simply wasn't the right fit to play the young son, Aaron Mitchell. I suppose Michael Rianda was trying to dip into voice acting like Brad Bird does in The Incredibles, and he does a fantastic job. But I just kept wondering, why didn't they get a child actor or someone who actually sounded like a young boy in the movie? Because he is young, and that was part of the charming nature of his character. Michael Rianda's voice was just too old sounding and deep. And so it never had a comedic payoff. They could have played with that, but they didn't. The resolution of the story is pretty predictable, even though there are a couple of false endings. Act 3 just kind of keeps going and going. And several times I was like, oh, there we go. That's the end. And then it kept going. And I was like, oh, okay. And then as soon as I saw the Furbies in the movie, I wondered what kind of product placement deal the studio had made with the company. Thankfully, none of the other pop culture items in the film feel like blatant merchandising. So let me give you some tips for parents. The film is refreshing and generally wholesome and family friendly. So yay for that. Family weirdness is celebrated in the movie, and the entire film is very family centric and has a solid message about celebrating the unique differences and strengths in one another, like in the movie The Incredibles. Now, it's revealed very quickly in the last scene that Katie, the protagonist teenager, is a lesbian. Now, let me share some positive themes that are illustrated very well in the movie and in the story. First of all, family and relationships. connection, acceptance, unity, the value of creativity, change, determination, and thinking outside the box. Also, there are some interesting messages about competition and jealousy. All right, so ultimately, I completely enjoyed this animation. And because I had no expectations, I was just so pleasantly surprised. So my movie review mom grade is an A. I really loved it. All right, but before we go, let me give you a couple of recommendations for other movies that you should definitely check out. And I've actually already mentioned them. The first one is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Now, I know a lot of you might be thinking, really, how many Spider-Man movies do we have to watch? But this one is very different. And I really liked that about it. I mean, I like the Spider-Man character. And going into it, that's exactly what I thought. Really, another Spider-Man? But it was so fresh. Just like this movie, The Mitchells versus the Machines. And then, of course, if you haven't seen The Incredibles, you are missing out. You absolutely need to see not only the first one, but the second one. All right, that's it for my movie review today. I hope if you watch this movie that you love it and get a kick out of it like I did. Thank you so much for supporting my growing channel. Be sure and tell all your friends, come on over. The party's here. And also join my Facebook group where I share tons of stuff. And in fact, we have Facebook Lives where we talk about stuff. I have contests, all kinds of stuff. So run over there as well. And as always, thank you for supporting me on Patreon. Okay, have a fantastic weekend. And to all you mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. Oh, and that reminds me, I also have another freebie, and I posted a link in that Facebook group that I was just talking about for a free book that has to do with families in honor of Mother's Day. It's a book that I wrote with my twin sister called Ancestry. It teaches you how to research your family's roots, as well as celebrate and honor your heritage and climb your family tree. So be sure and snag that. It's available for free on Amazon Kindle today and tomorrow. All right, I will catch you in the next video. Bye for now.